Hi, welcome to the Jezebel Way. I have started Earth signs for my Love and Then Some readings for the first half of September, and I'm going to be doing Virgo. If you'd like to book a personal read with me, my information's down below in the description box. And you can reach me through my email at thejezebelway@gmail.com. Please be advised, this is a general love read, and it may not resonate with everyone, but if you do find some nuggets of truth, please shoot me a comment down in the comment section below and let me know. In addition to that, I'd like to thank everybody for the subscriptions that they've posted. It really does mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate the views and the likes and subscribes. So, Virgos, let's get to it. I'm using the Universal Weight deck today for these. Just get these cards warmed up. What we need to see for Virgo and love, first half of September. Show us what we need to see for Virgo and love, first half of September. What's coming toward Virgo and love, first half of September? What is Virgo there and love, first half of September? Virgo, love. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. That'll be our overall arching energy for the read. This just kind of gives us a little bit of story about what we can expect to see in the reading, what the energy is for the collective for Virgo. This is the Page of Cups. This is water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Page of Cups is a younger water sign. And this is an offer of love, okay? A pure offer of love. Followed by the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is kind of like an unfair fight. You know, you have these two guys in the background here. One's, you know, crying about the fight. One's kind of just walked away from the fight like, you know, this isn't worth it. And then you have this arrogant, smug character here, holding the swords of his opponents. So sometimes this card speaks to pettiness. It speaks to petty conflicts. Other times it speaks to sort of a tyrannical way of behavior. So far we have maybe an immature offer of love that's based in pettiness, or, you know, we kind of have an immature offer of love that has an air of tyranny to it. We'll just kind of see where it goes. There'll be 3 for you and 3 for your partner. Remember, lines 1 and 2 can be reversed however they resonate with you. I will be referring to line 1 as Virgo, and line 2 is your partner for this read. Okay, so what I see so far, we have in the first line for Virgo, we have the King of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Eight of Cups. Second line, we have the Sun, the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, And for the state of the relationship, we have the Two of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Hierophant. So far what I'm seeing is, there's kind of some groundedness here as opposed to a fool's journey, which leads, you kind of have some opposites here, which leads, someone to kind of walk away from the relationship. What I'm looking at here is two people at different points in their lives. Or, this gentleman here would like to start over again at 0 and start something new, some kind of a new journey. Second line is your partner, Virgo. We have the Sun, which is happy, which is blessed things. Queen of Cups, again, which is, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But the Queen of Wands speaks to unconditional love. She's offering her cup up to the universe as sort of a offering of unconditional love. She's a mothering figure. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, which this is a solid, steady, stable offer. Sometimes in love readings, this could represent engagement rings. But if you'll notice back here, you have this arbor here, this arch, and you have a road leading to it. Sometimes the Ace of Pentacles can also speak to a safe haven. Maybe somebody's your safe place, or maybe your partner's needing to find a safe harbor, a safe haven, somewhere they can have solitude. So the Sun, the Queen of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is new beginnings. This may be new beginnings in other areas of your life, as far as work, things like that. But since this is a love reading, I'm going to take it as a new beginning in love. So your partner, it looks like they're in the Sun, they're happy, they have the Queen of Cups, unconditional love, and a new offer of love. So the second line looks great. First line, Virgo, looks a little conflicted. There may be, the King of Pentacles may need to go into the Sun, okay, in order to make his decision. Or when he makes his decision, it's a happy event. The Fool and the Spy down here, the Page of Swords, are kind of similar. See the similarities in that? This may be talking about low vibrational activities. As far as this person goes, he's the Fool. He's been enlightened. He's free, as he has the red. And the white roses speak to purity, okay? So he is going on a fool's journey at the beginning of this story. Now, when I say low vibrational activity, I mean, the Page of Swords is here, and he's kind of holding his sword. He's a messenger. He's not as in his head and not as mature as the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords, but it's still messages of truth. And even though, he's a little bit wary with his sword, he's a little guarded, he's holding his sword back in defense as if something is coming toward him. Sometimes people think this is the spy card. Maybe there might be some spying happening. And then we have the Hierophant, which is, this speaks to traditions, maybe religious traditions. This also speaks to committed relationships. This could be, if we had the Four of Wands and some other things here, this might indicate a marriage. But for right now, we're going to take it as a solid, steady, stable relationship. Or maybe some traditions in relationships. So what I see is the Fool going toward the Queen of Cups, toward unconditional love. Maybe as a result of some pettiness, some spying, some kind of ugly conversations. Somebody's walking away from a new offer of love, in favor of tradition. You could say, if you looked at it appropriately, somebody's walking away from something to a new offer of love that's steeped in tradition, which would kind of speak to the King of Pentacles up here in the beginning. These are at opposites in the spread here. King of Pentacles is kind of a guy who is an older man who generally would probably be based in traditional relationships. He's financially secure, but he's also very grounded, and sometimes he could be stagnant, as indicated by, he kind of has things growing on his throne over here. He's not an arrogant man. It's not arrogance, but stagnation and a focus on more stable, mundane things of life. So it could be this gentleman here wants to go on a fool's journey. He wants to take a risk because he's been enlightened and he's walking away from something. This could be you, Virgo, or it could be your partner. Maybe, Virgos are like any other sign. They're very organized. They're very detail-oriented. They're very grounded. Virgos are the planners. Maybe something's enlightened Virgo to take a risk and try something new, thus making you walk away from traditions, from what you've known previously. Or maybe you're walking away from something because you crave tradition, which wouldn't be unlike you. Your partner here, they're very happy. They are not aware that this conflict is going on with you. They're sitting here in the sun, very happy, full of love, full of all good things, mothering. These waters over here, they're not like the King of Cups. They're a little less choppy, but notice the difference in the Queen of Cups. Her throne is firmly planted on the land, as opposed to the King of Cups, in which his throne is floating on the water. So Queen of Cups is a little more grounded because she's balanced. She knows that you have to have emotion with groundedness, and loving and unconditional love. Those are all endearing, earthy qualities. So, she is in a place in her life or his life that she's ready. She's ready for children. She's ready for family. She's ready for tradition. She's ready to take the next step in a relationship, or he is ready to take the next step in a relationship. And they're kind of totally unaware that Virgo, you in this first line are kind of having, I wouldn't say a midlife crisis, but, it could be akin to a midlife crisis because, you're kind of grounded on the land. You're financially secure. Maybe you have a really good job. You've worked up in your job and you've promoted. And things are just stagnant for you and have become very mundane. And you want to break away from tradition, I think. And go on a fool's journey and start again and seek out adventure like a young man would, at the beginning of his life. Say, the fool's moved out of home and it's his first apartment at college, and, the sky's the limit at this point. So I kind of feel like that's the energy for you, Virgo, is that you want to take a risk. You've become enlightened that, you're at a certain place in your life where things are just kind of boring and stagnant and mundane, and you're ready to take some risks. So you're kind of walking away from traditional things. And again, your partner's kind of unaware that you're having these thoughts and feelings. So, if this is the case or this is reversed for you, it might be a good idea at this point to have the conversation with your partner that, even though your partner's ready to take the next step in this endeavor, in this love relationship, you're still not done sowing your oats. And you might need to have the conversation with them that, while you care very deeply for them, you don't want to be tied down to tradition. I mean, this could be just as simple as, look, I love you, but I am not ready. I'm not ready for this. There could be religious differences in your relationship. We'll just kind of have to see where the story goes. But that's what I'm feeling. So ultimately, the potential state of the relationship currently is that someone's trying to make a decision. Okay, you see this man here, he's holding on to one staff as if he's ready to move forward, and he's got the whole world in his hands, right? But it's a very small world. Okay, maybe he's reached a point in his life where, he feels like he's done it and seen it, what he can in this path. He needs to go on a new journey and, see if there's something bigger out there for him. And notice that, one of the wands, is bolted to the wall here. So it's kind of like having one foot in the past and one foot in the future. But it looks like someone, and you, Virgo, are going to have to make a decision here about traditional relationships, traditional love, or go on your fool's journey and seek out the bigger picture. This conversation may not be a very pretty one. Notice Page of Swords. There's a bit of immaturity going to be had here by this communication. So just remember when you're having this conversation or your partner's having this conversation with you, that you need to temper it with a little bit of love and kindness and sweetness, because it looks like maybe the conversation is not going to be very sweet. It's not going to be handled properly. And as far as tradition, it could be that, somebody's making a decision about asking somebody to marry them. You're trying to make a decision about making a marriage proposal, especially with this card here. Maybe you're trying to make a marriage proposal. Your partner may be ready to take that next step. Maybe she said, look, we've been living together, or we've been together for like 7 years now. Are you going to marry me or what? And, so you're trying to make a decision. Either you or your partner, maybe you've offered this engagement to your partner, and your partner's trying to make a decision about this being the right thing for them. Maybe they don't want to be bound by traditional marriage. So, again, offers of love steeped in kind of unfair battles. So, Virgo, if it's you who's, kind of trying to make a decision about going further with your partner, or, staking out on your own to try to see what else there is, what other seeds can you sow, which is kind of, it's kind of not normal for earth signs to do that. But, maybe this is midlife and you're in the middle of your life and you don't want to die, or become an old man without having done every single thing that you can do. No regrets, right? So that's what could be here. This could be the, pettiness that you're seeing. This could be this offer of love that you've made to your partner. Maybe it makes them feel as though it's sort of steeped in pettiness, or this is an unfair fight, or the fact that you don't want to get married is unfair to them. They feel like, either they can be this person over here who's weeping over this issue all the time, and eventually they're going to turn into this guy back here in which he says or she says, I've put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's just not worth waiting for anymore. It's not worth it because this is unfair to me. So let's kind of get some clarifiers on it and see where we go. Please clarify 7 of Cups for Virgo. Sorry, that's 8 of Cups. Please clarify 8 of Cups for Virgo in love. Please clarify the 8 of Cups for Virgo in love. Please clarify the 8 of Cups for Virgo in love. All right, so we have the Wheel of Fortune, divine timing, enlightenment. There's some deception, and there's an end. But it's victorious. You make an offer for resurrection, it looks like, at some point. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. You have the 8 of Cups here, okay, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. So luck is on your side, okay, that's a good thing. But you see this woman here, she's kind of the single lady. She's financially secure. She's happy with her life. She's contented with her activities. She has found self-love. She is not concerned with running after love. Probably an older woman, financially secure, happy with her gardens, contentment. So, divine timing says, this may be what you're thinking, what you want, or what could happen. Then you have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is someone who feels stuck. In the Taurus video, I went into the different aspects of the Hanged Man and how, he really doesn't look like he's suffering. He's got the red pants on, which symbolize freedom, like the red in the Fool being free. So being free can mean a lot of things. It can mean being free in this relationship because you feel stuck, or it could mean, free your mind, expand your horizons. It could be spiritual freedom, because you're hanging here upside down and you're like, it's perfectly normal. So it could be a spiritual freedom you're seeking. But, there's some deception here because, as I said earlier, your partner is unaware that you have these feelings because in their line, it's perfect happiness. They're perfectly happy in this relationship with no dark clouds looming. They have no idea that you feel this way, okay? Sometimes this can be an illicit sexual affair, but in this circumstance, I'm going to say this is the secret you're keeping from your partner. They have no idea about it, which is deceptive. It's kind of like you're halfway in and halfway out of this relationship. See, halfway in, halfway out, because you can't make a decision, one foot in the future, one foot in the past, thinking about, well, what do I do if I offer this or accept this marriage proposal, and what do I do if I don't? So, have the conversation with your partner, because I think that's the deception that's ultimately going to bring death to this situation. Of course, Virgo, you could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, okay, and Pisces again with the Hanged Man, okay, or you could be dealing with a Scorpio. At either rate, an ending and a transformation is going to be happening in this relationship. This is ultimately going to be victorious, but, if you're not honest with your partner, this is going to turn into man up, man down situation. Your partner's going to feel like a fool because they wasted all this time and because you've been holding this to yourself this whole time. And this is going to become an unequal relationship. So, basically, you're going to have the conversation with your partner. Okay? But, you know, there's going to be some victory, some public act, you know, some recognition for this. You will make the offer again to resurrect the relationship, but again, you know, the Page of Pentacles is not the king. Page of Pentacles is not the king. However, because you've been enlightened, you've taken a risk, you've gone on your fool's journey, you've done what you wanted to do, and you came back to the relationship. Maybe you can come back to the relationship brand new, full of energy, full of hope, full of love, full of passion, as opposed to this stagnation that you were experiencing in your life within yourself early on in the read. So maybe that's the trick here. You know, you get to go do what you want and need to do. Hopefully this person will still be hanging out for you when you're done. But maybe it's that you need to be made brand new. But we'll get some clarifiers on these other cards here. Please clarify the Fool for Virgo. Love, please clarify the Fool for Virgo and love. I had a couple of things come out here. You want to go on this this journey, this adventure. You want to be free. And not being free makes you feel as though you're stuck in this feeling of victim mentality. Like, you know, you're a victim in this relationship, which really you're not. You need to have the conversation. But in your head, you feel like you're the victim here because you want to be free. You want to go do some things. And, you know, this offer's on the table and you don't feel like you can do that, which makes you feel like you're a victim. In addition to the King of Wands, which, you know, the King of Wands is a man who seeks adventure. He's mature enough at this point to know that he has responsibilities that he has to attend to, but he also is on the edge of his seat waiting to take an adventure. He's envying his knights that he's sending out on these passionate endeavors. So he's not a real stable, solid energy like this King of Pentacles. But, you know, maybe if you can find a balance between the two, you've got it made, because you don't want to be as stagnant as the King of Pentacles, but you don't want to be as adventure-seeking as the King of Wands. So, you know, maybe this is a situation in which you feel like, you know, you're the victim here because you want to have some more adventures. You can't because this offer of love's on the table. In addition to the Hermit mode, you know, the Hermit is closer to the end of the Fool's journey, and, you know, the Hermit is kind of going within himself to seek the answers that he needs. He's wisdom, you know, and he's got his little lantern full of hope up here. So, you know, you need to go inside and seek the answers here to this situation. You need to be in this mentality instead of this mentality. Okay? Because lack begets lack. And if you continue portraying in your mind this fantasy of being the victim here, you know, then you're going to be this gentleman here. This petty thing over here. So what you need to do is go into the Hermit mode, seek wisdom. Okay, instead of this victim mentality, because this is low vibration 3D. This is a spiritual journey to find the truth out about yourself. So you need to take advantage of that and be in this mentality as opposed to this mentality. So let's see about what your partner's going through over here. Please clarify the Ace of Pentacles for Virgo's lover. Please clarify the Ace of Pentacles for Virgo's partner in love. All right, so we have a couple of things popping out here. Whoa. Okay. All right, so this offer of love You know, that you've given the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups here. She's happy. You know, she's contented. She's in love. Once this offer of love here has been given. But there's some anxiety regarding the issue, okay? There's some anxiety she's feeling about this issue because she thinks that you're doing this. Okay? So your third party in this relationship is not another person that I see so far, but it's you with yourself. It's you with your adventure. It's you with you're hiding the fact that you want to seek out some more things before you enter into this traditional relationship. So, you know, she thinks it's this. Maybe this is representative of, you know, you with work, you with life, you with, you know, these secret thoughts you're having that she's not aware about. But she thinks that there's something going on with you, which causes conflict in the relationship. It makes her think that maybe you're playing some mind games because you're being so stagnant. And, you know, she kind of feels like she's being left out in the cold as a result. She's trying to manifest something, you know, manifest her soulmate here. And, you know, she wants to be this for you, your Queen of Pentacles. See the King and the Queen together? This is an evenly matched relationship. And this is what she wants to be. She wants to be kind and logical and loving about the situation. She wants to be your partner, okay, in life. So, you know, even though this is what's been offered and she's ready for that next step, she doesn't feel like you're quite ready because you've got some secrets going on that you need to come out with. Quit being petty. You know, she thinks she's going to end up thinking, or he, or however it resonates, this is going to end up being pettiness, okay? Please clarify the Page of Swords for Virgo. Please clarify the Page of Swords. So, yeah, here we go. King of Cups. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. There's your pair. You got the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So the desire here is to be a couple, to be together in a stable, solid marriage. Okay, but since this is clarifying the Page of Swords, what this means is, you know, this king, even though his throne's floating out on this, like, you know, he's on some kind of a makeshift barge here, he's not bothered by this at all. These waters are deep. He could be in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean